Hi guys, I'm Blackie and welcome back to the channel. Okay, recently, I think it was last Friday on Down and Dirty, which today is Friday, so Down and Dirty. I spoke about a little tip or trick about taking kitchen matches and dipping them in clear fingernail polish. It made a hotter, more intense flame, better burn. And I had quite a few people do good comments on that, and I've had several that say, how about a lighter? And okay, let's talk about a lighter in the fire kit for just a second. Smokers drove the industry. Let's just be straight up and honest. If there was one good thing that came out of smoking, it was quick and easy fire making. Because all the way back to the 1700s, when pipes and things like that were the norm, they were always trying to find some fast, easy method to light a pipe where you didn't have to build a fire or do flint and steel and all kinds of stuff to generate it. So they were great innovations, great leaps, and it was always geared toward the smoking industry. Up until really the late 70s, a lot of places gave away matches. I mean, I remember going to the Gulf station in my small town as a boy, and if you filled up the car, they would give you a little novelty lighter full of fluid free, or a book of matches, or a box of matches, or whatever. All kinds of places, restaurants, hotels, things like that, all kinds of venues, movie theaters would often have boxes of matches to give away free as advertising with the name of where you got them from. How many of you have seen them old black and white whodunit movies from the 30s and 40s, and it's always they're going through the dead man's pockets and they find that book of matches and it's got a clue on the inside of it. They use that a lot. Well, the thing about it was that's how common matches were, but lighters were common too. And certainly after, say, World War II, the late 1930s, early 40s, then you got the king of the lighters came out. And that, of course, is the one everybody always wants to talk about, a Zippo lighter. Now, this one is a pipe lighter, because I occasionally will smoke a pipe. And so it is a pipe lighter, and you can tell it because it's got a big hole in the middle of it right there. And as you know how these work, you open it up, it's just friction fit, you put in the fluid, and then you close it back up, strike, light. Okay? Disadvantage to this is A, they evaporate in heat. Whether you do anything right or wrong, if you sit it in a pack, sit it in whatever, they're going to evaporate. I've had people talk about taking a condom and putting it over and cinching it up, or a balloon to keep it from evaporating. Okay, that's viable, but it takes away from the speed and ease of using it. Now, doesn't it? Because now you got to take that off to be able to use the lighter. And you got to put it back in to keep it from evaporating. These are great lighters, and for those of you that already smoke, sorry for the aircraft guys, you already smoke, you're going to be carrying something like this because you don't want to buy the disposable lighters, you want a refillable lighter. You will also have learned to carry in your vehicle an extra bottle so that when this thing runs dry, you can top it up in the field, right? One other disadvantage of this that I can speak to personally is that evaporation. A tight pair of pants pocket, tight blue jean pocket in my case, hot sweaty day, and the fumes coming out of this thing and evaporating will blister you. You get a chemical burn against your leg if it's tied up against your leg, because that fluid is evaporating out due to your body heat, and it's trapped in that wet canvas, that wet cotton pants pocket, and it's laying on your skin. It'd be like you taking a wet paper towel and just laying it on your skin with that naphtha, and it can give you a chemical burn. So that's something you got to be aware of. Guys have got on their shirts, sweaty, people working in the fields will talk about, I've got burns from a lighter before. So those are the disadvantages. The advantage is quick, easy flame. Okay? And as long as you're going to be using it often, like you smokers, so you're going to keep it topped up and you got extra fuel with you, absolutely, it's a very viable, it's a great tool to have for the thing to flip, hit, go. Instant, ready to rock. Of course, you know the trick about putting extra flint up under the little lift up wadding down there, so if your flint goes out, you got an extra one up under there to put it back in. And so that makes it for a quick, usable lighter. But there are other alternatives here, okay? Now, if you want to go this route because I want refillable, what I've been doing for the last 4 years is this. Now this is put out by Exotac, and it's their lighter. It's got this is meant for bushcraft, woodscraft, for lighting campfires, things like that. It's refillable. You unscrew the bottom and you put fluid into it. It's got an O-ring right there, and it will trap the fluid up in here. So therefore, this don't evaporate. I've had it 4 years. I've only had to refill it twice because it doesn't evaporate. It seals up tight. Now, these are not cheap. These are like 50 bucks. But they're a great investment. I love mine. And it rides every day in my fire kit. And if everything's wet, I gotta have flame, and I don't even want to mess, and I want to do just a lighter. I've got disposable lighters, and I got this. See? And I'll bring this out. The thing about it is when you bring it out, it's probably going to be wet up here if there's any kind of heat. And that's from that fluid coming up and being trapped. So when you bring it out, do this for just a second. Evaporate that off and then hit it. Instant flame. You don't want to burn it more than a couple of minutes because this will heat up and then that O-ring will be toast. You can get replacement O-rings, but still, you don't want to do that. This is a light something in, say, 2 minutes. This ain't a light it and put a canteen cup on it and use it for a cooker. But I like mine. And like I said, I haven't had to refill it. I mean, I probably, honestly, have used this 150 times, 200 times in the last 4 years. It's never let me down. It's always sealed up, ready to go. So this is distinctly one step up from that lighter. If I was going to be carrying this because I'm carrying my pipe in my pocket, absolutely, that's handy, grab it. In my fire kit, this rides because this would go dry. So this replaces this in my fire kit. And it does a great job. It really, really does. They're pricey, but they do a great job. Now, the good old Bic lighter, disposable. And as I've said in earlier videos, what you're looking for is go up and look at the lighters, and you want to pick up one that's got them wild, you know, like an American flag or whatever on it. And you want to turn up and look at the bottom of it. And you'll see this white plastic, and then you'll see the shrink wrap tube of that animation they put on there to give you the, you know, Bugs Bunny or whatever, or the American flag, or, you know, Go Vols or whatever on there. Okay, you can cut it at the bottom and peel that off, and you're going to be left with this clearish white plastic. Instead of a solid white one, this is actually thin enough you can hold it up to the light and see the fluid level in it. This gives you a distinct advantage, and I know how much fluid I got left. I can hold it up and I can see right there, there's my fluid level, even in this low light. So this is my primary disposable lighter that I'm using to burn cord, burn, you know, 550 bank line when I'm doing stuff, whatever. That's the one I grab. And I can look at it and tell it's wearing out. I need to replace it or not. See, distinct advantage of riding in the kit. We also know about wrapping something under here to jam it. Also, you can take and put a guitar pick on here, or several other things that'll be a fire starter. Add jute, add sewing thread. You can turn this into a mini fire kit on one of these lighters. So that would be a very good addition to a fire kit for the quick disposable, usable fire kit, right? One step up is also by Exotac, and it's this cover that goes on that lighter. Remember you talking about having to bind it up so it wouldn't get compressed in your pocket or whatever and leak out the fluid? This does that job and protects it so that it won't leak out. Now, somewhere on a video, probably 4 years ago, I showed how I rigged this cord up on it so that you just simply pull the cords out, grab the lid and pull it, and it falls out of the way. Now you got room to stick your hand through it, use it like a lanyard if you need to for whatever reason, so I can light and let go when I'm doing something, whatever. Same time, I can just roll over and push it down like that and grab that thing and it pulls it back. I can make it where it'd be a neck lanyard. I could put a longer piece of cord up here. It's just 550 cord with the line taken out of it. So I could wear it around my neck if I wanted to. Okay. That protects us so it doesn't get wet or etc. if I take a dunking. Now that's also an advantage over the old Zippo, because if it takes a dunking and it's underwater, not just, oh, it splashed on it, but it's underwater for a minute or so while you getting yourself out of the pond, etc., that wick can get soused with water. And just like it will flow up fluid, it'll get wet water, and you got to blow and blow and blow and blow, trying to dry it off to get it to catch, to get it to wick up again, that fluid. And so that can be a detriment. This will prevent that. And so this has that distinct advantage, and plus I can just slide out the used lighter and put a new lighter into it. I carry in here one like this with a clear plastic, so I can slide it out and check on it and look at it and see how much fluid I got. And if this is going on a camp out, you bet I slide it out and check it. Always check your fire kit before you go to make sure you got your tinders, you got your fire sources. Nothing is more embarrassing and miserable than to get out there with all 10 of your friends and you got to borrow a lighter because you forgot to bring fire with you to a bushcraft event. You're always going to carry fire. This is one of those staples you need in your vehicles. Have an extra lighter in your vehicle. These are cheap and disposable, so pick them up. If you're going to be like the Zippo, there's nothing wrong with the Zippo. I've got Zippo, right? But it's what its job is. You know, I know its weakness. It will evaporate. I know its weakness that it can't take a dunking worth a flip. And I also know the fact that if it's in a tight pair of pants or whatever, it can blister me if I don't keep an eye on that. And the fact that fluid will evaporate, so I got to carry extra fluid. This, on the other hand, can sit there for years in the glove box and still be fine when it's time to go. This protects it. Okay? So, to those of you that said about a lighter, I fully agree. And like I said, I've got at least 2 lighters in my kit. Riding with me, I have got this lighter and this lighter. This one is in the top of my haversack, and this one's in my actual fire kit that I take out. That's waxed leather, that roll up when I get from stitchgear.com. That's where this rides. So I've absolutely, with bone dry tinder in there, I've got a fire coming. See, this is the quick grab when I can gather up what I need to make a fire right quick and just get it going. See? Sorry for it. I'm back out at the shooting range, guys. And some people can afford to waste ammo. Wow. But anyway, I hope this answers your questions, guys. If you have any more, please put the comments down there. And yes, I've had people say, well, why don't you carry flint and steel? A ferro rod generates hotter sparks easier than flint and steel. So why not just carry char cloth and a fire rod instead of carrying flint and steel, which makes weak sparks, trying to catch on that. Multi-purpose. You know, I'd rather carry a tinder, like those prepared tinders, like the Inferno tinders that the Pathfinder School and SRO sells in the little tin. I can take them, ferry them out, and just hit them with a spark and do the same job quick and easy. See, your fire kit needs to be dialed into your environment. And it needs to have overlapping redundancies so that whatever conditions you're in, you've got the best chance to make a fire. Hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe before you go. Until next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.